Hi everyone. So in this video, we are going to continue to add on our build, and we are adding the light sensor, or what's called a photoresistor. Before I explain this, let me show you what we are so far. So this is an Arduino series for beginners. And if you're new here, I highly encourage you to start from the beginning. In the previous video, we did a 3 LED blinking, and we are going to add on top of it a photoresistor here, or again, a light sensor. So the light sensor, the way it works, the more the light fall on the light sensor, the less the resistance is, and the less light, the more the resistance. So it's the opposite of the amount of light falling on the sensor here. That's why it's called a photoresistor, or you can call it a light sensor if you want. Now, let's look at the pins here so we can wire it up. We have VCC. Let me see if I can get this to focus. We have a VCC, that's the voltage or the 5 volt. We have the middle one, which is the ground. And this last one is the data pin, and that's going to go to the analog. And I'm in this example here, I'm going to use A0, but you can use any of the A's or any of the analog pins. So let's wire it up, and then we will test it, and I will show you the code after that. Let's find some space here on my breadboard. First, I want to see how long is my wire. So again, I said I'm going to use the A0. So you can see here, I'm going to tab into the A0. Let me see if I can put that in here. So that's connected to my A0, and then I'm going to take it up to here. And that's just because that's the length of the wire. Then I'm going to plug in my sensor here, and you see now we're taking the A0 pin to here, so we have some space, and then adding the sensor. Now I wired up the data pin. I just need to wire the voltage to the 5 volt and the ground to ground. So here, remember I explained how breadboard works. These, the middle ones, are rows. So if I need 5 volt, I can just tap into from here to here, for example, right? So I'll explain this a little bit more. Let me see if I can get this to wire up. And the way we're doing it is because this entire column is there. So this works. And this entire column is a 5 volt. So the way we already tabbed into the 5 volt here, remember these rows? We got from 5 volt to here. So this entire column now is 5 volt. And now I'm just using it to take 5 volt back to here. So from this row to this column, then from this column to this pin here, which I needed 5 volt. Same thing we're going to do for the ground. I'm just going to tab into ground, and then here into ground, and you can see same idea here. The middle pin need ground, and I'm going to connect to the ground column because the ground column already connected to the ground pin here, and this is just another jumper to get voltage. Now the sensor is wired up. Let's add an LED, and we're going to use it as a light. So this LED is going to go on the D9. And the reason I'm using the D9 is just because I have space here. And so let me just wire this up and I will explain. So I'm going to go on the D9, and then here goes to the ground. So the long leg is going on the D9, and then the short leg is the ground. And again, same thing here. This column is ground, so I'm just using it to tap into. Now, once again, it's probably recommended to use a resistor between the Arduino and the LED. Otherwise, you're risking blowing the LED up. But in this case, I believe we will be fine. But watch my previous video regarding how to connect an LED to the Arduino, and it's recommended to use a resistor in between. So this is not recommended to connect the Arduino directly, but we're talking about the light sensor here, and I'm just breaking some rules. It's not a good idea, but I'm just doing it because I'm lazy. Also, I have some space here. So let's move forward. Now, the code I'm going to write is when the light is off, or when this is dark, we're going to turn the LED on. And when the light is on, we're going to turn the LED off. So like automating the light, for example. So I will upload the code, show you how this works, and then I will go over the code and give you that as always. So let's power it on and show you how it works. So I just uploaded the code here, and let me show you how this works. You can see because the light is on, then my LED, which I added on the pin 9, is off. But if I turn the light off, you can see that the LED is on. And I turn the light on again, the LED is off. And we're using the light sensor here to determine when to turn the LED on or off. Now, let me show you the code and show you how this works. Now, let's take a quick look at the code here. So we are declaring the pins, and the A0 for the photoresistor or the LDR light sensor. The pin 9 is for the LED. Of course, you can use different pins if you like. Let's go over the setup function, and here we're declaring the pin for the LED as an output. We don't need to do the same for the analog pin. It's only for the digital pin. And this is the serial monitor. So I was outputting the value. You can output the value to the Arduino IDE or to a serial monitor just to troubleshoot and make sure the function works. So I use this to debug and make sure the code works. Since this is the beginner series, if you want to ignore this piece, that's fine too. I'll go over this in the future and explain it in more details. Now let's go look at the loop function. And here we're declaring an integer value, and we're just reading the sensor value from the analog reading from the pin that we declared for the LDR. The expected value is between 0 and 1023. So we set up a threshold here, and the threshold is 500. If it's over or under, that's how we are determining when to turn the LED on or off. You can see here that if the sensor value is smaller than the threshold, so if it's less than 500, we are turning off. Let's see, it's light, turn off. I think I got this one wrong. Turn off the LED, and we're setting it to low. Else, we are turn it on, and that's better. Let's correct that. Else, it's dark, and then we are turning the LED on, so we're setting it to high. And I tried to leave a comments here to make it make more sense here. Now we are just printing the value to the monitor. Again, this is for debugging purposes. So if you want to ignore this piece, that's cool. Don't worry about that for now, since this is the beginner series. This is just a small delay because you do want about a millisecond of delay or 100 millisecond of delay. It's about a tenth of a second just to stabilize the reading. And usually you want those delays because the Arduino can be very quick, and if you don't have a delay in between, your reading can be really out of order. So yeah, this is the code, really simple. I highly encourage you to try it. Thank you for watching this video. In the next one, we will add a temperature sensor. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.